The money that was in here, I used it for the condo expenses. Thanks a lot, Emily. Jessica, my sister-in-law said in a completely unapologetic voice. Her voice was cheerful and childlike, and it made me feel slightly dizzy. Just give me back the bank card, right now. No way, why should I return something that was given to me? Besides, there are still a lot of things I want to get, like furniture and appliances. Laughter echoed from the other end of the line. Hearing that, my husband tried to soothe me, saying, well, it's fine, we can save up another $300,000. Is he really that unwilling to stand up to her? He doesn't even know how much I've suffered because of her. Fine, then I won't hold back either. All right. Then you can keep the bank card, Jessica. Jessica was silent for a moment, probably surprised by my unexpected response. But soon, a joyful voice came through the receiver. As long as you understand. I'll use it freely then. Without listening to the end, I hung up the call. If she wants to use it, go ahead. Using someone else's money that she didn't earn herself. And she will come to realize that she will pay dearly for this soon enough. My name is Emily. I work at an IT company and am 42 years old. I met my husband, who is a year older than me, at work, and we got married in our mid-20s. Since my husband's parents' house is close to our workplace and he wanted to save money, we decided to live with his parents until we saved up enough. Fortunately, we've built a good relationship with them and have no complaints. In fact, they are very considerate of us as a working couple and willingly take care of household chores. In return, we give them a bit more for living expenses. I wanted to show my gratitude by letting them see their grandchild soon, but due to our busy schedules, we weren't blessed with a child for a long time. Finally, we were able to have a daughter, and she was born 6 months ago. We also found a great place close to work and are planning to finalize the contract soon. Life had been smooth sailing. Except for my strained relationship with Jessica. I'm home. Hi, Emily. You worked late again today. Sarah, Mommy's home. It was past 7 p.m. When I got home, my mother-in-law, Lisa, greeted me, holding my daughter, Sarah. Thank you, Lisa. I'll take over from here. It's fine, I like doing it. You should eat first. You must be hungry, right? I tried to take over the care of Sarah, but she declined. Appreciating her thoughtfulness, I sat at the dining table. It seemed everyone else had already started eating. Emily, you and John seem so busy lately. Sorry for leaving Sarah with you all the time. Really, it's hard to tell who's the mother here. There it is again. I suppressed the urge to talk back. Jessica always takes any chance to make snide remarks at me. And the crying from morning till night. This isn't a daycare. You should consider the neighbors too. I couldn't argue against that. It was my selfishness that led me to return to work as soon as my maternity leave ended. We were already short-staffed, and I didn't want to cause more trouble, so I couldn't bring myself to ask for additional maternity leave. That's why I was planning to find a proper daycare for Sarah. However, right after I reported this, my parents-in-laws offered to take care of her, saying, leave it to us. As a result, Sarah was entrusted to the most reliable people in the world. I couldn't express my gratitude enough in words. Even so, I understand that we're placing a burden on Jessica. I understand that, but I can't help but wonder. Are we doing something so wrong that we deserve to be belittled this much? I'm sorry, Jessica. Thank you for everything. My husband, John, said, giving another drink to her. Whenever she starts complaining, he always tries to appease her like this. Sometimes it helps, but other times it infuriates me. Right now, it's definitely the latter. Jessica is 2 years older than John, single, and childless. Unlike me, who's always working late, she's always at home. Apparently, she works as a freelance writer and is always under tight deadlines. So Sarah's crying probably annoys her even more. If it bothers her that much, you'd think she'd move out, but that's not happening anytime soon. At the very least, she could help around the house, but I've never seen her do any chores. We'll be moving out soon, once we finalize the new place. Just hang in there a little longer. Oh, so now you're bragging about your new home? Must be nice to be a dual income family with lots of money. Well, being dual income has its struggles too, you know. We went through that too. We understand the difficulties. So, rely on us even after you move into your new place. Hey. That was just being polite. Don't take it seriously. It's a nuisance for us. The kind words from my parents-in-laws and the harsh words from Jessica alternated. And John, constantly trying to please her, added to the mix. I often find that this dinner table feels less relaxing than my workplace. Oh, Emily, what a coincidence. Shopping? One Sunday evening, I ran into the last person I wanted to see at the station. Jessica has a bad habit of prying into my shopping. As expected, she immediately noticed the shopping bag I was holding. Yeah, just went to the electronics store. Oh. What did you buy? Knowing it would be troublesome if I refused, I reluctantly opened the bag. Seeing the baby monitor inside, she raised her eyebrows. Must be nice to have money to spend on things like this. If you have time to watch your daughter while at work, you should stay home. Actually, this was John's idea. Don't start blaming others right away. She snatched the bag from me and slammed it onto the ground with all her might. The box of the brand new baby monitor was crushed and dirted. John too. Ever since that kid was born, it's all Sarah, he's so infatuated, it's disgusting. That noisy brat should just disappear. What? I could tolerate insults to myself, but I couldn't stay silent when she badmouthed John and Sarah. Just as I was about to retort, she kicked over a nearby row of bicycles. Crash. The bikes toppled over with a loud, dramatic sound. She glanced at the fallen bicycles, snorted, and walked away. I wanted to chase after her and make her take back her words. But first, I told myself to clean up this mess, so I started picking up the numerous fallen bicycles. This is in front of a casino. I think she came out of this place. Seeing how short-tempered she was, maybe she had a big loss on the slots. After all, taking out her frustrations on others is Jessica's specialty. Finally, after putting all the bicycles back, I picked up the paper bag from the ground which was crushed and dirty. Upon checking the contents, it seemed only the outer box was damaged, and the inside was intact. I felt a bit relieved. This baby monitor was something John asked me to buy. He wanted to watch Sarah's growth, but as a dual-income couple, we could only see her early in the morning or late at night. He wanted to at least record her growth, which was his reasoning. Sarah is our precious treasure. After over 10 years of marriage, she is the child we longed for and finally had. Of course, we adore her. My husband, in particular, feels this strongly. We even set up Sarah's crib in our bedroom, rejecting my parents-in-law's suggestion. Why not set up her crib in a separate room so her night crying doesn't affect your work the next day? If you asked him who the most important person was, he'd undoubtedly say Sarah. Such behavior only irritated Jessica even more. Then, about a month later, she suddenly announced she was moving out. Apparently, she had secretly purchased a studio apartment. We were all taken aback by her sudden revelation. How did you afford an apartment out of the blue? I have my ways. The contract is already done, and I'm moving out tomorrow. Sorry, Emily, but I'm leaving first. I was surprised. But, congratulations. I thought it was a good thing. This way, she would be free from Sarah's crying, and we wouldn't have any unnecessary conflicts. Since her move-out day was a weekday, I couldn't help with the move. My parents-in-laws were present, but they said, she quickly packed up her things and left with the movers in no time, and they seemed a bit sad about it. I, on the other hand, felt mostly relieved that I wouldn't have to deal with her snide remarks anymore. Still, I had a slight regret that we hadn't had a proper conversation before she left. At least let's give her a housewarming gift. With that thought, I went to my room. Passing by Sarah, who was sleeping to avoid waking her, I opened the drawer in the bedside chest. We keep our valuables together in this spot. But as soon as I opened the drawer, I couldn't believe my eyes. The important bank card was missing. No way. I checked several times, but it wasn't there. This card was for our savings account, so we never took it out. Could it be a thief? I need to call the police. Panicking, I went to the living room and explained the situation to my parents-in-laws. They were just as shocked. What about Sarah? Is she safe? Yes, she's sound asleep. Wasn't that account for the down payment on the new house? Yes, about $300,000. That's a lot of money. You should call the police immediately. I'll do it. Emily, contact John. Thanks to my parents-in-laws, I managed to stay somewhat calm and called John, who wasn't home yet. This was the money we had diligently saved over 10 years. I braced myself for John to scold me for my poor management, but when I mentioned the police, he interrupted in a more panicked voice than mine, saying, "Wait. Don't call the police. I'm almost home. Let's discuss this first." As soon as I heard that, the front door opened, and John rushed in. His face was pale. What do you mean, wait on calling the police? If you call the police now, Jessica will be the prime suspect. What? Just then, my parents-in-laws came into the room. I called them, and they'll be here soon, Lisa said, making John's face turn even paler. His suspicious behavior made me realize something was off, so I pressed him for answers. To my shock, the truth came out. Jessica had the bank card. When we called to confirm, she readily admitted it. Moreover, she brazenly said, "I used the money for the condo expenses." Thanks a lot, Emily. She said it in a cheerful, unapologetic voice. Her voice was so bright and innocent that it made me feel dizzy. Just give me back the bank card, right now. No way, why should I return something that was given to me? Besides, I still want to buy more furniture and appliances. Her laughter echoed from the other end of the line. Hearing that, John tried to calm me down, saying, "Well, it's fine. We can save up another $300,000. Is he really that unwilling to stand up to Jessica? He doesn't even know how much I've suffered because of her. Fine, then I won't hold back either. All right. Then you can keep the bank card." Jessica was silent for a moment, probably surprised by my unexpected response. But soon, a joyful voice came through the receiver. "As long as you understand. I'll use it freely then." Without listening to the end, I hung up the call. If she wants to use it, go ahead. Using someone else's money that she didn't earn herself. And she will come to realize that she will pay dearly for this soon enough. She says she received it, but how? I glared at John, demanding to know what was going on, but he just shook his head, saying, "I didn't do anything like that." In that case, I had to verify it myself. I went to our room and grabbed the baby monitor, bringing it to the living room. This monitor has a recording feature. Since the chest where the bank card was kept is next to the crib, I thought checking the monitor would reveal the culprit. And my suspicion turned out to be correct. What is this? John, look at this. There it was, undeniable evidence. Jessica was stealing the bank card from the chest. She then called John and demanded the PIN. When he refused, she laughed and said, "You're hardly ever home on weekdays." It's a shame, really, for Sarah, she doesn't have her parents around to protect her. What are you going to do to Sarah? Nothing, as long as you do what I say. It was outright blackmail. My parents-in-laws were speechless, covering their mouths in shock. When I looked at John, he was silent, head bowed. He was still trying to protect Jessica. To protect Sarah. But John, do you realize something? No matter how much you listen to Jessica, there's no guarantee she'll keep her promises. The sound of Sarah crying came through the monitor. Everyone turned their attention to it. It showed Jessica slapping Sarah. She was spewing hateful words. Then she left the room just before Lisa arrived. The monitor repeatedly captured these assaults on Sarah. Oh no, she said she wouldn't do anything to Sarah. With his fists trembling, John rushed to our room. He picked up our sleeping Sarah and began to sob uncontrollably. While crying, he confessed that he had been following Jessica's instructions for finding and handling the condo and its payments. I can't believe she was doing such terrible things. I'm so sorry for not noticing. And not only that, we couldn't strongly speak up against Jessica's harassment towards you, Emily. We are truly sorry. I feel the same. Sarah had severe infant eczema, so I couldn't tell the difference if she was red from that. I'm a failure as a parent. We all apologized for our shortcomings. And what remained was a burning anger. As all our anger converged on one point, Lisa's phone rang loudly in the living room. It was a call from the police officer responding to our report. It turned out Jessica had been arrested. Upon checking her belongings, she had the bank card mentioned in your report, the officer explained. Upon hearing this, we immediately headed to the police station. What's going on, Emily? I can't withdraw any money. As soon as we arrived at the interrogation room, Jessica started yelling at me. According to the police, when she tried to withdraw cash from a nearby ATM, the machine suddenly became inoperable. She kicked the machine repeatedly to retrieve the card and assaulted the bank staff who tried to stop her, leading to her arrest. Of course. I froze the account as soon as I noticed the card was missing. Account freeze. Why? That account is in John's name. I got his permission. Despite telling us not to file a theft report? Unfortunately, while the account is in John's name, it's a joint account for us. So I can freeze it too. As soon as I realized the card was missing, I immediately contacted the bank to freeze the account. Knowing her temperament, I anticipated she would go berserk if she couldn't withdraw the money. If she had just returned the card when asked, this wouldn't have happened. All right, fine. I get it, now let me out of here. I want to go home. She looked to my father-in-law, Michael, for help, but he just shook his head. You've gone too far this time. You need to stay here and reflect on your actions. What? She had expected to get out easily with a fine. Her face contorted at Michael's words. Why? I'm not wrong. John gave me that money. I was forced by you, Jessica, to buy the condo and give you the PIN. Forced? What proof do you have? It was recorded. And we saw you hitting Sarah too. When I handed the baby monitor footage to the officer, Jessica began to tremble. But it's unfair. Emily is rich, has a baby, and everyone adores her. Talking about the new house was just to spite me. So I took what I deserved. We've let you take care of John since you were young. I'm sorry for that, and we've overlooked some things. But stealing someone's money is a crime. And threatening to cover it up is cowardly. Hitting a baby is the worst of all. Don't you understand that at your age? It's enough, Michael. It's time to stop being responsible as parents. Exactly. You're no longer our daughter. From this moment, we're cutting all ties. No, please. Think again, Dad. Let me out. Help me. Leaving behind Jessica's desperate cries, we left the interrogation room. Afterward, she was sentenced for property damage, assault on bank staff and Sarah, and blackmailing John. Of course, given Jessica's financial situation, she couldn't pay the fine. She ended up serving her sentence. Since she was convicted of multiple offenses, she'll probably be in her 50s by the time she's released. While the embezzlement of our money was exempted under the family theft law, we filed a lawsuit and recovered the full amount. This included selling the newly purchased studio apartment. Additionally, we are seeking damages for the emotional distress caused by her abuse of Sarah. Due to this incident, we decided to put the plan for our new home on hold. In hindsight, we had no complaints about living with my parents-in-laws. In fact, considering their future health, it's better to live together. So, we decided to build a comfortable two-family house. Once completed, it will be a wonderful home where everyone can live happily. Of course, we have no intention of telling Jessica where we live. We plan to continue living happily together as 3 generations.